policing the police every single day. Hey, Shire County, this is Shire County Copwatch. Before we play the video of my stalker here, Gary Snow, who is an ungodly white racist cop sucker who supports cops breaking the law, violating the Constitution, and illegally killing people all over the place. He totally supports it. You cannot question it. So in this video, as you can see, he's calling me out, and he's bringing up my videos, which, you know, some people know about and some people don't. And if you know your history, you know why I made them. He's calling out my videos on where I said freedom was, when a cop dies, somebody told me this saying before, and it's totally true. Freedom was planted, and this is why. When a cop dies, they can't fuck with people anymore. I haven't met a good cop unicorn yet. A good cop unicorn doesn't violate your rights. I'm trying to look. There we go. Here he is. Doesn't violate your rights for victimless crimes. Our founding fathers fought for freedom. First of all, when we first came to America, the red coat British police were here. They were illegally taxing us, taking our guns, and illegally entering our house. That's why we have the Fourth Amendment. They would literally write a warrant right at the door and come in, and a lot of times just take over. And you know, so a lot of people say, you know, our founding fathers would be shooting by now. And you want to know what? That is absolutely true. And what I say in these videos, too, is I'm not shooting. I'm using the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of press, because I would rather not shoot. I'd rather try this way first. But when I state that, that is totally true. Our founding fathers went to war with the British and the British police for, like I said, taxes, guns, illegally entering your house, and they went to war. That's why they call them the 3%. 3% of America took on the British and defeated them, and we became free. We were actually free for a while. And how this fucking psycho white racist Nazi, he is a racist. There is videos of him literally provocateuring black people into, he has started riots at people at a protest. He's literally on video covering his face, shooting a black African-American flag, burning it and shooting it. So this is insane. Like I said before in another video, we have contacted a lawyer that had to deal with this guy, this psycho up in Jacksonville. He made a huge web page for this, all this guy's psychotic stuff. It's called Biography of Provocateur William Garrett Snow Jr., a.k.a. Gary Snow. This guy is dangerous. I don't think he's ever heard of our history or the Constitution. I think he read the wrong one. I would think it was from Germany. It's called Mein Kampf. He would fit perfectly in there because that is where they said, do not question us. Do not question authority. Everything is good. Everything is right. He's like the fucking brown shirts that were there. So when you can't talk about history, that is when you repeat history, and we are repeating it. And he is one of the blind, cop-sucking sheep that is doing that. So very, very scary. He is a stalker, white racist, cop-sucking provocateur, and wow. Just wow, man. By the way, he does have a Facebook page, Gary Snow. You can find him there. This is his web page. Very, very sad, man. I'm doing what our founding fathers said to do, and this dipshit, cop-sucking white racist said that's gone. They didn't say that in the Constitution in our founding fathers' documents when they said absolutely hold your government accountable. And this fuckhead is saying no. Let them illegally ruin people's lives and their families' lives for victimless crimes through policing for profit. and just blow cops away. He supported a cop that illegally executed a black man up in Chicago. That's why he started Chicago Code Blue. He supported this cop who was put in prison for it. And he thinks that's fine. What do you think? Remember what our founding fathers said, take our goddamn country back, and you are a frog in a pot and it's boiling. Get the hell out and fight. And yeah, and watch out for these psycho stalkers like this. My God, I have already gotten word that he has already talked about physical harm to me because I stood up for victims. You know, it's literally like Nazi Germany, man. What? So Gary Snow is basically saying in Nazi Germany, the victims can't come and say what the German police officers did was wrong to all those Jews that they killed in the ovens. That's sick.
I think I might have struck a nerve with one of our local First Amendment auditors. He goes by the name of Charlotte County Copwatch, Andrew Bryant Sheets, or Shits? Shitbag? Sheetsbag? Sheetbag. Shitbag. No, it's Andrew, I think it's Andrew Sheets. Apparently Andrew thinks that it's stalking or harassing if I go out and audit the auditors.
Copwatch, policing the police. Wow.
Andrew puts out videos on his YouTube channels, and the title of the YouTube channels would, or the post would be, "Freedom is Planted." He glorifies the death of police officers, and he states that now these officers, since they have been killed, will not wreak havoc or tyranny on the public for victimless crimes. So Andrew Sheets is an actual, full-blown cop hater. He just hates police officers.
I have to explain what I mean by this, shit.
Seriously, listen to what he's saying. He is literally insane. This is what Charlotte County Sheriff's Office is dealing with. Andrew Sheets wants to say that I profit off of working with the police. Again, I don't work with law enforcement. I support them. But, Andrew Sheets at the end of his videos will tell you about his Patreon. You can watch. He will beg you for $1, $5, $10 a month. He gets excited when the thought of that he could, he does this 4 hours a day, his cop watch, cop blocking, calling everybody a racist. No matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, pink, blue, I don't care. Everybody's racist except Andrew. He's a patriot. He's doing what our forefathers told us to do, which is hold our government accountable. But I don't ever remember our forefathers stating that, you need to go out there and film, harass, berate, attack our government officials, the men and women who are just simply doing a job, our police officers who put on a badge and shield and a gun and go out every day and put their lives on the line for us. Andrew Sheets is just simply a deranged individual who has a full-blown hatred for police or anybody that supports them. This is how he makes money. He does have a job as a cleaner. Him and his wife own a cleaning business, and he says he works 4 hours a day doing cop watch, cop block, so that he would love if people could donate to him so that he could quit his his day job and become a full-time cop watch, cop blocker. He could travel, he could sue, he could have all the lawsuits. He just needs you to pay for it.
Another reason why
I've stated before that the first time that I never even met Andrew at the Hertz Arena. He was there, I was there, we were in the same vicinity, but I never got a chance to meet him. But I seen a video that he posted. This was after Officer Adam Jobbers Miller of the Fort Myers Police Department was assassinated while on duty. and they were holding his funeral service at the Hertz Arena. Andrew showed up to the funeral services doing his Cop Block, Cop Watch videos. And he said, you know, that he wasn't doing his shtick, but you can watch the video. I'll show you the video. You know, he's asking a couple cops, you know, where they're from, how many cops are here, just doing his Cop Watch, Cop Block thing. You know, he was talking to some reporters from Wink News, you know, trying to, you know, make himself known. You know, hey, there's a Cop Watch guy here. I'm at the funeral. You know, I didn't bring my megaphone. Wish I did, because, you know, what would you have done, Andrew, at a funeral for a police officer? What, you stood across the street and you would have, what, with a megaphone, harassed and berated police officers while they're at a funeral mourning the loss of one of their brothers? Apparently thinks that everybody is a racist. I'm a fascist racist. All police are racist, be it a white cop or a black cop or a brown cop. All cops are racist. Even one of his neighbors that has a riding lawnmower, happens to be an African-American male, Andrew Sheets called that guy a racist because that guy is kicking up rocks at his house with his lawnmower. So to Andrew shitbag, everybody is a racist. Doesn't matter what color you are. We're all racist if you're either a supporter of law enforcement or you're a police officer yourself.
It's racist.
Andrew also wants to file a restraining order on me for harassing. I've never met Andrew. I've never seen Andrew in public. Ian McGuire, Hate the State, out of Punta Gorda, he tried to file a harassing and stalking injunction on me, which was immediately shot down because apparently these First Amendment frauditors, they don't like it when somebody films them. You know, they like to go out there and film people in public. You know, they go to government buildings and they film our government officials, police. They say that you don't have the right to privacy in the public domain. Anybody can be filmed at any time. But apparently they don't like it when they get filmed. They don't like it when they get exposed for who they truly are.
Copwatch, policing the police every single day.
Fired by the police. Got fired by the police squad. Doors over here.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of second-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, first shot. We, the jury, find the defendant.
Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Copwatch, and we got to do a story on a sad situation here. We unfortunately are doing what our founding fathers said to do, which is to hold our government accountable. That's what they did when they first came to America. The red coat British police were here. They were doing many illegal things, taxing, trying to take the guns, illegally entering houses, and etc. And we went to war with them to free our country. And they made something called what this fucking white racist fascist doesn't know is the Constitution, freedom of speech. The right to hold your government accountable. Period. So this prick is going around and is now stalking auditors here on Facebook, on YouTube. This is his page. He just found the auditors there. He's literally going around Southwest Florida with pictures of us and with as much information as he can get, telling the people that we're bad, which is completely wrong. We are doing nothing bad. We are holding our government accountable just like our founding fathers said to do. This is also his Facebook page, so you can find that too. He's got information on there. But there's somebody else that's already ran into this prick, and Phillips and Hunt, committed to justice, ran into this guy up in Jacksonville. He started in Chicago, and he made Chicago Cold Blue. Here's the insane part about this. He started the group after a Chicago cop illegally, look it up online, I'll get the video too. Jason Van Dyke shot a black man down in the street that was no threat to them, shot him 16 times, and then was charged 81 months. Anybody else would have got way longer, but it's rare to get one charged up there. And so now even Chicago police don't like this fucking white racist prick. They wouldn't let him join the parade that they had for cops up there. And he supported a cop that illegally executed a black man. So now he's down here. He was in Jacksonville. He was harassing people that had a rally, and that's how this lawyer got involved. He did a massive background investigation on this guy. I highly recommend you go look at it. Biographer, provocateur William Garrett Snow, absolutely. I don't know any auditor that does a shit like this guy does. So now he is going around defaming us. We are doing nothing wrong, nothing illegal. And he's going around with our pictures and all of our information to all these agencies in Southwest Florida, saying that we're bad people. What the fuck, man? You're the white racist asshole that Chicago kicked out. The police wouldn't support you. He was making money off of selling shirts that supported Van Dyke and not the cop, not the black guy that he illegally executed. Like I said, I'll connect the video. It's insane. This is why the lawyer got involved, because he got in this guy's face so much, provocateur, that it ended up starting a fight. Jesus, we don't do that. And here's more proof of it. Here's a psycho's picture right here, man. Just wow. So it's we are now being I have already been informed that he has made threats against me, that if he sees me, he's going to do bodily harm. and here's a reason why. Because he is such a white, racist, fascist copsucker that he doesn't comprehend what I did. I went to a cop's funeral because people don't realize how many victims that cop had. All right? And what I mean by that, victimless crimes. To have a crime, you have to have a victim. So this fucker, before he was killed, ruined tons of people's lives and their families' lives for victimless crimes. No victim. Taillight was out, illegal search, just on and on. So I went there for them, and I wasn't a provocateur. I didn't have a sign and get in the face like this fucking dick shit does. And I just mentioned it to like 2 people as I left, and I'm there to support the right there. Yes, it actually shows him shooting the black people's flag too. So I mean, this guy is like very dangerous, very racist. And I just mentioned it to 2 cops as I left, and they said, we don't want to talk to you. I said, great, that's it, and I left. That's it, man. No provocateur like this fucking psycho. And like I said, as you can see, this webpage is huge with the background information. Yeah, here he is right here. Right there. Gun, burning their flag, shooting the flag. Just wow. So we have this situation. We are looking at filing stalking charges against this psycho because we are doing not a goddamn thing wrong. We're doing what our founding fathers said to do, hold your government accountable. And this dipshit thinks that that's wrong, that you can't hold cops accountable, your government accountable. He read Mein Kampf. He did not read our history and in our Constitution. Not even close. It's just mind-blowing. Just let the cops do whatever they want. Are you serious? I've busted cops down here for having an illegal list of gun owners and profiling them, which is a third-degree felony and a $5 million fine. Does he want to help with that? No. We got another cop down here in Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. He was dealing date rape drugs, a whole liter from China. Does he, cop never charged. Does he want to help me try to get him charged? No. God, so who the fuck's a whack job? My God. People don't realize our founding fathers said sometimes you got to chop the tree and take it back. We want to take it back. This is not freedom, not even fucking close, man. And this psycho is stalking us, defaming us, making threats. That's why this lawyer made this huge web. As I can keep scrolling and scrolling, this page is massive, and he's making money off of cops that illegally, completely are breaking the law. So who's a whack job, man? I'm doing what our founding fathers said doing. He's doing what Mein Kampf said to do. I'll attach videos and information, and remember what our founding fathers said, take a goddamn country back, and that's what we're doing. And you're a frog in a pot and it's boiling. Get the fuck out and fight for freedom again, because we have none.
Hi, Micah. Hi, Mark. This group calls itself Chicago Code Blue, and it says its mission is to show support for Chicago police. And they were trying to do that at this year's St. Patrick's Day parade, but the organizers said no.
Our vision was, actually, I wanted to see a sea of blue amongst the green. I wanted, they asked us how many people were with our group. I asked them, well, how many can we have?
Gary Snow, the leader of Chicago Code Blue, says his organization had hundreds of people ready to march at the city's St. Patrick's Day parade as a show of support for police. The annual event is sponsored by the Chicago Plumbers Union Local 130. Chicago Code Blue, founded late last year, submitted a parade application earlier this month, but it was rejected.
We took it as a slap in the face. We had a lot of people that were ready to organize. We had a lot of people that were ready to show support. You know, they wanted to walk in the parade.
Code Blue was formed back in October as a response to protests against Chicago police. They say that since the release of the Laquan McDonald shooting video, police have been vilified.
I don't want my daughter to grow up in a society where they look at police officers as the enemy.
Organizers say the parade has always enthusiastically supported Chicago police. In fact, last year, Chicago first responders were the guests of honor. In a statement to WGN, the parade said, because Chicago Code Blue was established very recently, and with the later application, there has not been enough time to sufficiently vet the organization. The group is welcome to apply to the 2017 St. Patrick's Day Parade. Code Blue won't be at the parade this year, but Chicago police will be represented by their marching band. They march every year. We're live downtown to Monbrelli, WGN News.
Gary Snow of the group Chicago Code Blue says it's a slap in the face to be rejected by the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. He says the organization, formed last October in answer to the police protests, just wants to show support for police officers.
It just started to snowball, and more people wanted to get involved. There's a lot of people in the city of Chicago that want to show support. I feel that a lot of them are intimidated.
He says police wives and families had planned to march, but Code Blue keeps getting rejected. A planned rally in support of officers in December was called off at the request of the police department. The parade organizers say they enthusiastically support the police, but because Code Blue is new, there wasn't time to vet the group. Mike Krauser, News Radio on 105.9 FM.
John Phillips can push my ass. John Phillips.
Call Mike. I'm still out here fucking with these motherfuckers. I'm still out here fucking with these people. Look at them. Look at them. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. I know. Well, call Mike. Call Mike. Tell him to come out here. Call Mike. Call Dave. Tell him to come out here. Call Connell. Call Mike. Call Dave. Tell him to come out here.
I don't. Why? I'm not friends with Mike.
No?
I know him, but we don't hang out. Like, I'm not his keeper. Why don't you call him if you love him so much?
He didn't give me his phone number.
Talk about it, Mike.
He's got his phone.
I turned my back on you and the Democrats. I'm expressing my dissent for this movement.
Please try to turn your back.
I'm expressing my dissent. This is what democracy looks like.
Can I give you a finger to show you what I've done?
Please, give me a finger. Please show me.
I'm turning my back on you. Kiss my ass.
I did that on November 8th. I turned my back on you and the Democratic Party. That's why you lost.
You're garbage.
That's why you lost.
Yes, garbage. You are garbage.
I'm also a racist, a xenophobe, a sexist. I've been called everything. We're still here. We're still here.
You're a piece of filth.
And we're still here.
How long will you been here? How long are you going to be here?
I'll be here all day. I'll be here till 2018, and then I'm going to be here till 2020.
So you don't have a house? You just hang out at this location?
Hey, brother, just ignore him. Come on.
He's a piece of crap.
He is.
He's a piece of shit.
Come on.
I'm calling you shit.
This is what triggered looks like.
I bet you won't.
I never did.
I bet you won't. I've been waiting on you.
Why are you so mad?
I've been waiting on you.
Why are you so mad?
Threaten me
Honestly.
now. Threaten me with that AK now.
I never threatened you
Threaten me
before.
with that
I
AK
never
now.
did.
Threaten me with that AK now.
never
I bet
did.
you won't.
I never did.
I bet you won't.
I never did.
I bet you won't.
Because I never
will
did.
beat your ass out here.
But I never
bet you
threatened
won't.
you.
I bet you won't.
I never threatened
I bet
you.
you won't. Puss ass got a police escort. They following your bitch ass. You better hope they drive you home.
This is ABC Action News.
This is not your platform.
New tonight, angry protesters face off in Bradenton. Deputies in riot gear, the only thing keeping the peace. I'm Jamison Euler.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Let's get right out to ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska. Michael, deputies got right in the middle of that very angry crowd.
Wendy, Jamison, they had to just to keep the peace. A lot of people were descending on this area, and it was all over this monument here that's been boarded up behind me. Strong emotions on both sides, but as you mentioned, Manatee County Sheriff's Office able to keep the peace and let people air their grievances. Manatee deputies in riot gear worked to control a crowd of hundreds, two rival groups face to face.
This is not your platform.
One side wants the Confederate monument gone, the other wants it to stay where it's been since the 1920s.
They don't need to go down. There was a lot of blacks and whites that fought together, and that was when we had unity.
3 people were arrested and charged with misdemeanors for disturbing the peace. One man was handcuffed after he ripped up a protester's sign, then swung his American flag at the group who wanted the monument removed.
What was what you were doing back there that got you arrested?
I'm expressing my First Amendment right.
Using
this
violence?
Is what complying with police looks
Swinging
like.
a flag and using violence?
He wouldn't talk to us as deputies escorted him handcuffed to the courthouse. Manatee County commissioners might have to get used to these protests. They voted to keep the monument where it is. People against it tell us that's motivating them even more to try and get rid of it.
National momentum and national attention is on these monuments for us to actually take advantage of that momentum and kind of direct it towards the things that exist in our own county.
And despite those 3 arrests, Manatee County is saying this was a successful night because luckily there was no violence, there was no one injured, no one got in a fight, there was no punching, so that was definitely a good thing. Not sure if there are more protests planned for this monument. If there are, of course, we will let you know. We are live here in Bradenton tonight in Manatee County. Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
A heated demonstration tonight in downtown Bradenton. The protest and then a counter-protest took place at the historic courthouse over a Confederate monument outside the building. And that's where we find ABC 7's Rick Adams, who has more on tonight's gathering. He was there earlier this evening. Rick.
Yeah, Haley, things have really quieted down here, but just a few hours ago, it was very loud. Hundreds of folks who are all fired up came out to the historic courthouse in Bradenton. Some of the protesters supporting the removal of the Confederate monument, while others wanting to keep it right where it is.
Does that say white supremacy on it?
No, but it's also,
does it say
but it also doesn't have a plaque
neo-Nazi?
explaining what it is also, though. It's
You're
just
offended.
A piece of thing. I'm
You're
not
the
offended.
minority that's offended by that monument.
It needs to go.
No, it doesn't need to go.
Outside of some heated arguing, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office was able to keep the protest and counter-protest relatively peaceful. Groups on hand who are pushing to have the monument removed included Black Lives Matter, Indivisible Bradenton, and Answer Suncoast. One of the main groups in support of it is the America First Team Manatee Group.
Right now it presents a danger to our community. We have a rather large white nationalist group here locally, a regional group, and they're using it as a rallying point for recruiting new people.
This is a federal protected building, a historical building right here, and I don't see no reason why it shouldn't stay. It's not hurting anybody.
For Ron Piper, he too supports keeping the monument here, mainly because he says most people didn't even realize the statue existed until recently.
It's American history, and I don't like the fact that they're trying to remove American history.
I believe that history belongs to everybody, and the monuments are there. If you don't like them, pass them by. Don't look at them, don't read them, don't listen to the story.
For Black Lives Matter and other groups pushing to have this monument removed, they see things much differently.
I'm an American, but I don't feel like an American. This is my country. I was born here, raised here. Like, this is my country, and they want to uphold the Confederacy.
And this monument still remains covered in wood. County crews had covered it ahead of today's protest. Reporting live from Bradenton this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Rick.
And this is a live look at Hemming Plaza in downtown Jacksonville. There we go. A dozen protesters or so have gathered to voice their opinions on all of this. Action News Jax is there. We're talking with some of those protesters, and they're on the bullhorn there, and they say that they are for military action while others are against it. We'll have that new for you tonight on Fox 30 at 10 and 11 and on CBS 47. Well, hang on a second now. We see, what do we have going on right here? We've got a fight breaking out. We've got JSO officers there on the scene. This is no longer a peaceful protest. Can we have somebody, I know Michael Yoshida is down there right now. Can we get Michael Yoshida
it looks like
dialed in here? This is
a fight between protesters, and what you're watching, there was a peaceful protest that was happening down at Hemming Plaza.
Right.
Both people who were for and against that airstrike in Syria yesterday, and just in the turn of a second, you're watching it live here on Fox 30. A fight erupted, it seems, right there at the protest involving several people, but it looks like officers are separating people.
They've got two people down, pinned down here. There's another guy who looked like he had a mask on his face. Actually, they've got about 3 or 4 people detained right now. And Haley, if you could, let's get Michael Yoshida. I know he's there. Can we get him wired up either in the phone or with a microphone? I'd like to be able to hear what he's seeing, he's able to tell us is happening here. We're working to get Michael Yoshida on the phone. They've got 2 people there. There's Michael.
He's working to get some audio going. And there, it looks like they have a woman they were trying to detain. Okay, let's listen in with Michael.
We've been out here for about
Audio problems. Let's keep working on that, Michael. But you can see, just hearing that briefly, you can hear how tense this situation is right now. A lot of people with a lot of emotions going right now. The bullhorn is going, and officers there struggling to detain. It looks like about 3, maybe 4 people right now by my count.
All right, we have Michael's microphone now. Let's listen in and find out what's happening out there. Michael.
Hey, T, we've been here for about 10 minutes. You can see the scene right now. This all took place in the last 2-3 minutes. It was a very intense scene going on right now. You see several JSO officers out here. I can tell you when we first got out here, it was very peaceful. There were some...
You guys get paid with our taxes, and this is what you do to freedom. You come here. You guys live from us. We pay your salaries.
It looks like officers have this thing somewhat under control now. It was pretty crazy there for a few minutes, but we've, you know, there's still a lot of yelling going on, but at least there's not the pushing that we saw.
Yeah. So the camera movements and the chaotic scene here, this is all playing out live in front of us. You can see some people who appear to be even recording officers or recording these arrests. Michael Yoshida is there, and you can see officers kind of pulling someone across the street right now. Again, this was a protest regarding the airstrike in Syria last night. As we know, nearly 60 missiles were dropped on a base there in Syria. This was in response to the chemical attacks that happened where women and children were seen. Very disturbing video that came out. The airstrike happened yesterday. The protest was there today, and live on TV, in the middle of this peaceful protest, John, it appears some kind of fight or disturbance erupted, and now you see JSO putting someone in the car, in the back of a squad car.
Yeah, all this happening here at Hemming Plaza downtown. There were only a little more than a dozen people there,
Yeah, it was
really.
a
Small gathering, but the police force responded quickly, to their credit, and it looks like they've got at least one person in the back of that patrol car. You saw 3 or 4 others with handcuffs on, and this person is apparently refusing to get in the rest of the way of that car. Just a very quickly developing chaotic scene, and like to stay with this. We're still working to get Michael Yoshida live there to give us a better idea of just how this all. But you see the person there with the bandana over their mouth. They're still yelling, and it's unclear who they're upset with right now.
Yeah.
But again, as you mentioned, people on both sides of the issue here with the aerial assault on Syria, excuse me, by the United States last night in response to that chemical weapons attack a couple days ago on Tuesday night. And really just a lot to sort through here as the crowd seems to have grown, as you would expect when there's a chaotic scene in a very public area. The protest was getting a lot of attention there just a few minutes ago, and so now you have a lot of other folks who have come to see what's happening.
Yeah, and this is live again here on Fox 30, and we don't have the audio right now because there is a lot of yelling, and we cannot control what people say, so we want to make sure that we're being careful as to what you're hearing. But our Michael Yoshida is there. You can see several officers that have the roadblock. It looks like he's working to try to give us some information about what's happening out there. Michael, if you can hear me, what happened? What do you know so far?
Hey, Tanika, like I was trying to tell you before, when we first got here, there was probably 5 to 10 anti-Trump protesters and 5 to 10 here supporting Trump. Now, as this protest got underway, there was a lot of people on microphones right in this area. Things started to get tense. There were several JSO officers here trying to keep the peace, but then in a matter of seconds, as you've been seeing, it got out of control here. We've been following the scene throughout. If we walk this way, you can get a sense of just the anger and the frustration between the various crowds. You can hear there's a lot of emotion out here. We have a very, very intense scene here. Quite a few more JSO officers have showed up just in the last few minutes. You can see a Trump support. And we're working to get more information from JSO. You saw several people being put into police cruisers here just in the last 5 minutes. It seems things are starting to die down now. Some of those who were here for this original protest against the actions taking place in Syria, they're starting to walk down the street here, moving to the other side. I think an attempt to try and cool the emotions and feelings here. We're seeing some conversation happening between JSO and one of the leaders of this protest. Looks like he's walking off. If we go that way, Adrian, if you want to look that way. That was the gentleman who first started this protest. Let's walk across the street, Adrian. And even if we look through the street as we're walking, you can see just the amount of patrol cars here. Adrian, there was...
Michael, I was going to ask you about the presence of JSO, because I'm guessing a lot of these cars that we're seeing right now are the cars that have quickly responded since the chaos broke out of this protest. And I'm guessing...
When we got here, there was, I'd say, 5 or so that I could count JSO in the Hemming Park area. And once emotions erupted, we saw a very quick response, and then you saw the scene playing in front of you there on the screen when protesters and officers were going back and forth in a very physical altercation. Yeah, still very, very active out here. This is just one of the scenes, actually, that's happening. If we pan around, Adrian, let's just give them a sense. You see more JSO arriving down the street. There, that's at Laura Row, and if you walk back this way where the protest originally started, let's see what's happening. You can see even more JSO. We have several showing up on schools as well, but it looks like things are starting to die down here, but a very, very intense scene for all those involved. I mean, we had those.
And if you're listening in, if you're watching, look, we're just going to get you caught back up again. This is Hemming Plaza downtown. There was a protest tonight with people for and against the airstrike in Syria, the U.S. airstrike in Syria yesterday. In the midst of that protest, from what Michael Yoshida has been able to gather, he says it was a handful of Trump supporters, a handful of people who were against Trump, and some sort of dispute happened. We were bringing this to you live on TV as John was describing this peaceful protest when it appeared some kind of fight or disruption happened. JSO officers jumped in. We saw several people being forced to the ground in handcuffs, one person being put in the back of a squad car, several people, John, pulling out their phones, kind of recording this transaction. And in the meantime, Michael just tells us that the people who were there for the initial protest on Syria kind of separated from that crowd possibly. So we see a lot of officers on scene. More are showing up trying to diffuse the situation, but we still don't know, John, what sparked this disturbance.
We don't. We see what the banners, you know, I can see that we've got a Trump banner right there. We've got, there was something about wanting peace somewhere just a few minutes ago. We saw that. So we don't know exactly what prompted the fight that then caused JSO to have to get involved. But we do know that there was a lot of passion and yelling going on, and want to just let everybody know it's happening live here. So if you might have heard things that you didn't like to hear, we apologize for that, because that is out of our control, certainly. But that's why we don't have the audio right now where Michael is, as he's trying to you know, figure out exactly what else is happening and how JSO is going to, you know, keep an eye on this. Right now, they're letting these folks say their piece, but if it starts to get physical, that's when they jump in, and that's exactly what we saw with. I counted at least 3 or 4. Did you? Where they had people on the ground, and we saw the men and women, and they took those folks off in patrol cars just a few minutes ago, and you're seeing this all unfold live right here on Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Yeah, and as you said, they are allowing people to exercise their freedom of speech. The people who, I guess, were part of that disturbance, it looks like they tried to put them in handcuffs, but people are still talking to the officers. Right now, Michael Yoshida kind of in the crowd, going from side to side, trying to figure out what's going on. He's trying to talk to one of the people who was leading this initial protest as well.
Yeah, we're going to stay on top of this breaking news as it unfolds. We'll check back in it in just a few minutes, but first we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Copwatch. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.